Hi everybody. This is the second video in my series on how to leverage generative AI for academic research. And in this video, I want to focus on how to identify interesting literature for an academic research project. And this has been kind of a difficult topic for a long time. So initially when ChatGPT was launched, actually it really liked to make up references that at first sight looked very credible, but that actually did not exist. Now today, with the web search capabilities that have been integrated in ChatGPT and in other generative AI tools, actually these tools have become much more reliable and useful to search for relevant literature. And so let me show you the prompt that I use to kind of look for relevant literature for an academic research project. And here, as I explained last time already, I have a separate kind of project in ChatGPT for my academic research. So this is a project environment where it knows that all what I want to do in terms of prompting is about doing research on a high level. So I don't have to stipulate that every time. And so let me show you then a prompt that I've created to search for literature. So I can show you the prompt. So what I'm asking here is identify and list academic papers with relevant insights for writing about, and in this case, I choose the topic again, innovation theater in corporate venture capital. Of course, you can choose here whatever topic you want to do research on. Then I ask it, focus on finding papers that provide significant insights or theories related to innovation theater practices and their intersection with corporate venture capital. And then, as I showed last time, I give it steps that it needs to follow to do this task. So that's the chain of thought prompt of my prompt. Then I give it a description, what kind of output format that I want. So I want to have the title, author, publication year. Maybe we also want here to have the journal. So let me maybe add that to the prompt. So let me briefly adjust the prompt so that we also have the journal. That might make a lot of sense. So let us go down. So we have steps, output format. So I will actually enter the journal here, journal name, publication year, and main insights. Yes, and then some notes. So it needs to show that papers are current and have a high citation score. Highlight any papers that are novel, perspective or critique of existing corporate venture capital practices related to innovation theater. Yeah? So again, we use here chain of thought, few-shot prompting, and rule-based prompting. So now I can press send, and then you will see that it's now searching on the web. Yeah? So that's what ChatGPT can do, can search on the web, which has some limitations because not all kind of academic paper databases that we tend to use provide access to ChatGPT to search. So that's a kind of limitation. But nowadays, most of the time, it's actually able to give you some nice references. So that's actually the paper that we have created in 2024. In one or another, it's not able to identify the authors, but the journal is correct, the year is correct. And you see it actually identifies a nice number of references that can be, for me, the starting point for a good literature research on the topic that I want to study. So this is one approach to prompt for identifying relevant papers. Now we can further automate this a bit by creating what is called GPTs. Yeah, so in OpenAI, you can create GPTs. So here, let's go to explore GPTs. And so I, for instance, have created a GPT that can automate this process so that I don't have to every time again write this prompt. So here is my management research explorer. And this is the GPT that I have developed. It's also publicly available, so I will add the link to the description of this YouTube movie. But let's briefly show how I have built it. So let's go to the configure mode. So here I can see the name. I've given it a description, but the most important point is the instructions. But the instructions are actually, again, the same kind of prompt that I did before. So now I've actually copy-pasted my prompt here. So it's exactly the same prompt. And now I can update the GPT. And now let me briefly go to view GPT so that we can see it. And if I now simply press start to kick off the GPT, Let's ask me what is the topic you would like to study. So now again, we could say innovation, theater in corporate venture capital. And now we will see actually again a number of citations. And actually, I think the citations are very similar to the citations that were generated first, which makes actually sense. Yeah. So again, I get a nice overview of some references that might be relevant. And so here, because it has clearly used this web search tool, the risk of hallucination is rather limited. Of course, you always have to double check. Yeah? You cannot 100% rely on it. So you will need to check every reference whether it really exists. But I would say, using this approach, the risk that you will have fake references is rather low, but you need to double check. One more thing that I briefly want to show you in these GPTs, you can nowadays also implement actions. That means you can actually make GPTs talk with APIs of other applications to further automate your GPT. And let me show you what I did for myself. And this is then more a private GPT, but I just want to show it to you. So this one I've called the academic literature searcher. And if you go to the GPT, you will see that I've added some additional information here. So if you go to the configure mode and I go down, you will see that I have here also created an actions. More specifically, I connected with my Zapier account to actually allow it to write output to a Google Sheet. So that's a kind of automation that I can build in here with actions. And there is no coding requirement. You just need to click on some things. I actually found a very nice YouTube video that gives a very good explanation on how to do that. So I will not explain it here in depth, but I simply want to show that that's possible. So here again, I can ask if I do start to create or to look for papers. So again, I can do innovation theater in corporate venture capital. And now again, it will start searching for that information. But now what I can actually do, and you see it's already talking to Zapier. So let me see if it already, sometimes it does it automatically, sometimes not. Let me see. So now it might already have written some of these references to a Google Sheet that I have. So let me briefly go to the Google Sheet to double check. Yes, so here is my Google Sheet, and we have not yet information here. So it has not yet written the output to the Google Sheet. So this is what I need to push here. So now I can take a look at the references, and let's say that I want to have this reference in my Google Sheet. So then let me kind of pick the title. That may be the most easy thing. So this is the title. And then I can give as an instruction, please write this paper to my Google Sheet. And so I give the title. Now, typically, I first need to still confirm some stuff for this action. So let's see what is happening. So you see it's now executing my action. So let's see what happens. I need to confirm that it is allowed to use my Zapier account and all that kind of stuff. So here are, of course, some authentication issues because now it's really going into one of my Google Sheets. So now it's executing that, and I need to again confirm. So let's see what is happening. It's kind of debugging. So what happens in the background is not always that clear, but let's see if it works out. Okay, and now it is telling me that it has successfully added this reference to my Google Sheet. So let us double check. And indeed, you see now I have in my Google Sheet nicely, as you would expect, the information. In this case, it was not able to identify the journal, but all the other information is there. So in that way, you can now easily kind of automate exporting specific papers into a Google Sheet. So this is kind of additional automation that you can integrate in your GPT. It is a bit experimental still. It not always works out, but I think it's actually nice to try out to what extent you can do the automation. So this is how you can easily start identifying literature using ChatGPT in quite a reliable way. Again, not 100% reliable, but I would say 90% reliable, but at least it can give you inspiration of papers that you could use in your research project. So I hope this was helpful. And if you want to stay updated about the videos that I'm launching about using generative AI for academic research, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because then you will get all the updates that I will launch. Thanks for your attention. Bye.